All right, yo, it's your boy Yoshi Kid Neo, and we are back in the world of Boridil, the Ruination of Boridil. Hey, what's going on, Justin? What's up, my man? How was your trip to Mexico? Hopefully it was a good time. In all honesty, you're probably usually the first anyway, so congratulations. Long time viewer, very much appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself here. So, but today's session, the biggest thing that's going to happen today is we're going to be introduced to Jeffrey's new character. Last session, he unfortunately took a tumble off a cliff. Not actually, but he did die. A very tragic death to the Glavenus. For those that don't know, the Glavenus is a creature from Monster Hunter. They're essentially in a Monster Hunter world right now, or area, so they're fighting a lot of those creatures. It's really cool, but it's also really, really hard because these creatures are buffed beyond belief. At least the ones they fight one-on-one, but yeah, we'll see in a bit then, my dude. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into recap, shall we? Okie dokie. So, last session, you guys were thinking of a plan of how to get the Glavenus to essentially come to you guys instead of you going to it. You figured, let's use this goat. We'll lure it. And so you did. The goat was able to bring the Glavenus forward, and Lloyd was able to cast his spell to begin the fight against the Glavenus on its home turf. As the fight went on, unfortunately, our man Lloyd perished as he was standing much too close to the Glavenus, and its tail dealt massive blows, and Frederick wasn't able to keep up with bringing Lloyd back with his what's it called, Goodberry loop, and the party was successful in defeating the Glavenus, but at what cost? And now with Lloyd gone, the party begins to try their best to bring him back. Jimothy is able to procure a diamond in order to use their new comrade, Lightbringer's spell that he had, a Revivify. But in this world, death is, or spells that bring souls back to the from beyond life aren't always guaranteed, even those spells at the highest of levels. And unfortunately, Lloyd's soul did not return back to his body. But thanks to the I guess Elsbeth being there. Elsbeth is the hag that Jimothy was looking for in order to get some information about where his toe could possibly be. Thanks to her presence and her ability to see into the wherever the soul is, she could tell that the soul wasn't harmed. So there's hope to bringing Lloyd back in the future if they do so choose. But now that Lloyd is gone, Elsbeth has given you all a chance to discuss some things, especially since you had made such a long journey and had lost quite a bit just to come and see her. Jim was in the process of making a deal while you guys talked with her about what even brought you to this island in the first place. She would give you all information, and you would hand over Lloyd's body for her to do with whatever it is that she's going to do. But in the process of you all talking to her, she has begun to think that perhaps dealing with you all has compromised her position. She keeps going on and on about how they'll find you guys, and now that they've used you guys to find her, they'll come after her. She has to leave. So she starts to pack up all her stuff and begins to mumble and very hurriedly begins to leave, and leaves the body of Lloyd with you all. That way she doesn't have anything else that's tied to Gower and the Thurian Empire and Lord Saxon, actually. So, now that you all are, or now that she has left, you all find yourselves in her, or near her old, I guess, dwellings, just outside of, or just about like 50 to 100 feet above the battlefield where the Glavenus's body lies. And you do have Lloyd's body in hand, and that is where we will begin tonight's session. So, what does the party wish to do?
I'm still bloody up as all hell, so I'm just thinking about. Hey, so we're going to that lake that you were talking about? I really want to wash this stuff off.
I shall prestidigitate the both of us.
Whoa! You can do that?
And three-toed Jim. And I say, this will pass for clean for now, but we should find somewhere to get cleaned up at some point.
Ooh. Very well. I start walking towards the exit.
Okay. You walk towards the edge where Elsbeth had just essentially dropped off, and you see absolutely zero trace of her. Below, probably about like 20 to 30 feet below you, there's a dense fog to where you can't see past it. But at this rate, with the drizzle that's still coming down on the volcano, or at least the area that you're in, you can see past the volcano just a bit to where you can start to see the tops of trees within a mile of your position. And in between that location of the trees and yourself is just a dense layer of fog.
Well then, this is gonna be quite peculiar to get through.
Well, I suppose. And Jim, you can just see he's like fighting this anger that he has and like worry. I feel we need to meet up with Dusty, I guess. And we should call for the airship. Get this Glavenus taken care of. But we should get off this damn volcano.
Agreed.
Yes. Hey Jim, you want to ride on my shoulder? Maybe that'll cheer you up a little bit.
Sure.
I kneel down.
Okay.
Come on, buddy.
I climb up.
All right, upsy daisy. Stand up. All right, so that Dusty fellow, I would assume he'll be out there somewhere waiting on us.
Well, that's what the thing said.
All right. Onwards then. Oh yeah. So I'm still holding the horn in my hand, right?
Correct.
All right. All right. So what do we do with this? You said you got somebody you can call.
Oh yeah, we have this. The flare gun, basically. You shoot it up, and then the airship comes and helps haul the monster back to base.
Ah. Very well. All right then. Let's go. Trina, come on. What's the hold up? Let's get out of here.
Come in.
So you start your descent down the side of the cliff. It's not really too much of an issue with Jim on your shoulder. You're able to keep yourself perfectly balanced. You find the issue is that your stamina bar drains rather quickly when climbing on the side of a cliff while it's raining.
I turn into Bowser.
I'm just
Wow.
joking.
All
Breath
right.
of the Wild reference. Anyway, I would say it takes you probably 5 minutes of careful climbing to get down without accidentally slipping and sliding. No one wants to do that. And at the bottom, you can see, roughly 60 feet in front of you, just like before, the little motes of fire bursting like these little lava pools every now and again, and they help to sort of illuminate the area. And you see the Glavinus is still lying there, dead just as you left it. Lots of blood pouring out of its wounds that you had left, Lightbringer, from your don't really know what to call it. Stroke of genius,
Frenzy?
Stroke of insanity, your frenzy.
Oh, do we have Lloyd? Who grabbed Lloyd?
That's actually a good question. Yeah. How do you all bring Lloyd's body with you?
How about instead of me riding on his shoulders the whole time,
Okay.
we each carry a piece of Lloyd?
Yeah, that works.
Wasn't he cut in half?
Almost. It didn't quite go fully through. So
I was like nearly headless Nick, but
yeah, exactly. Nearly headless.
Okay.
So it's perfectly feasible that Lightbringer can carry him on his own, or you could as well, since you are so strong.
I'm strong little man.
It's just going to be very jarring with Jim because
Yeah.
you won't see him.
I'm just a little man with tiny arms, and I don't think this was thought out very well. Either way.
Speaking of
Go ahead.
Lloyd, I would like to relieve his body of his little platinum hunting license.
All right.
And I think that was really all that he had of significance on him. Unless I'll rummage through to make sure there's nothing that he would like have special that he'd want to get buried or whatever.
Let me open up his sheet real quick. Inventory. So as you're rummaging through Lloyd's stuff, you actually open up his backpack, and there is a lot of shit.
Like a lot of shit?
First.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff. In fact, I'll end up making a backpack. I'll title it Lloyd's Backpack, and I'll go through the process of moving all this stuff that he has into that backpack, and then you guys can look at it later.
we can put his backpack into my bag of holding, right? I mean, unless there's anything in there that will make the bag of holding explode.
Let us see what your bag of holding is at weight-wise.
It should be pretty much good to go. I've gotten rid of most of the boom scales.
Oh, I just noticed that it is think it's supposed to be this sheet. Oh no.
Oh, all my bag of holding stuff is gone.
Oh dear. I'll be able to fix that.
Okay.
Because I had saved a version of Foundry before updating everything, so I'll just go in there and see what was in there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you had enough room for like 100 or so pounds of stuff.
Let's just say I'll put it in there unless it's gonna like make the bag of holding explode with like if there's another bag of holding he has or something.
Yeah, he does not. But as you begin to like dump the stuff in, the most peculiar thing that you see as you're pulling things out and putting it into the bag of holding is that there's a petrified eyeball in a jar of this weird, strange brown colored liquid.
Is it magical when we grab it?
No. As you touch it, you don't feel a surge of magic, but as you're looking at it, the eyeball is like floating, and it's doing the old Windows screensaver where it hits the sides of the glass and just keeps bouncing off. And even though you're not shaking it or anything, it doesn't ever stop. And then another thing is no matter how many times it hits the side, it stays in the same orientation staring at you.
Weird. That's gross.
Oh, wow. It's kind of creepy, but kind of cute.
Do you think it's food?
An eyeball, so probably not.
I mean, eyeballs can be food.
I wouldn't, well, I would say I wouldn't eat an eyeball, but I'm not, I guess, entirely sure what I have eaten recently.
Oh, man. That's some,
As Jimothy throws up again. I'm joking.
We both throw up again.
So as you empty his contents, you're pretty much able to put most of it in the bag. That way you don't have to carry too much. And then unless you leave the bag behind, I'll just say that you have all of Lloyd's stuff until you declare you get rid of it. And
hey, Frederick. Come here, little owl.
the owl looks up at you. It's still flying closely to Lloyd's body, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. But it does look up at you.
Eat. Drop.
The owl continues to look at you. It doesn't move.
Can you please drop that ring?
The owl does not move.
Okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Trina, I think you want that ring, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you deal with that.
Okay.
Jeffrey, if you could not move your spell sheet,
Oh,
it is
sorry.
making this difficult.
Sorry. No, yeah, no, I'm still editing stuff, my bad.
No,
I didn't know
you're
you were on
good.
the page too.
Yeah, I'm deleting stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing the finishing touches because I'm looking at the things. I'm like counting how many I'm allowed to get per level, and I'm just kind of subtracting stuff.
Okay.
Oh. Don't move that.
Okay. Anyway, as you guys, I guess, get ready, you start heading towards Dusty, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So easy enough. You pretty much come out the way you came, as this was sort of like a chasm of sorts, and you end up finding the exact trail the Glavenus had left in the large footprints it left behind to lead you here in the first place. So after about 10 minutes of walking fairly fast because of Jimothy's elk ability, you guys end up getting back to the forested area, or at least the sort of like grasslands, because it goes from like a large dense forest to sort of grasslands for about a quarter mile before it gets to the volcanic. And as you approach, you do see Dusty waiting at the edge under one of the trees, like he had said. And there's a short, stout dwarf that is there with him, and they seem to be enjoying some sort of conversation. And as you guys approach, Dusty looks over and he waves. And as you guys get closer, Jeffrey, if you would like to describe your new character.
You see a dwarf.
What's going on, Justin? How we doing?
Purple and black robes. He seems to have a staff and a spell book in his hands, and he is just kind of standing there. He's around 5 feet tall. I guess young to middle age for a dwarf. That's pretty much all I have for the description.
Okay. Let me bring out your token so that I can show them what picture you have chosen.
Nice. He looks like Gimli.
Oh, he is also wearing like a half plate.
Ooh.
With it, like, you know, over his robes, or I guess under his robes. So
as you guys approach, Dusty pops out his notebook and starts scribbling, and he hands whoever is first to grab it a note. And it reads, I'm glad you guys made it. I met this gentleman while I was waiting for you all. Also, where's Lloyd?
At that moment, as soon as he said, as soon as he read, "Where's Lloyd?" Lightbringer just does like a little lynching gesture and like sticks his tongue out.
And Dusty kind of like puts his hand over his mouth, and then he looks at Jimothy, and because I'm assuming Jimothy at this point is probably holding the body.
Yeah.
He looks at Jimothy and sees Lloyd's body mangled and nearly cut in half. He begins to write frantically again and goes, do we need to head back to the encampment?
Oh, this is a particularly bad case of almost being cut in half. So, I think... Well, we killed the Glavenus, so we should go up there and send out the signal, and then that's how we get back to camp.
He writes again. He says, oh, you want to... you have a flare? That will make getting back to home a lot faster.
Indeed. Especially since the Glavenus is pretty big.
He writes another message and goes, the flare should reach the encampment. There's always someone watching for them on the island. But it could be a couple days before it lands. Is there a place near the volcano that you want to set up camp, or should we look for something here in the trees?
What do you think is safer?
Well, it really depends. Do you wish to keep an eye on the Glavenus's body to make sure that you get every ounce of it, or would you prefer safety over that?
I think we should just keep an eye on the Glavenus.
Sure.
Here, here. Oh, and who are you? And he points to the dwarf.
Yes, who are you?
Oh, me. Oh, my name is Tolktier. Good to meet you.
Polk tier.
Tolktier.
What are you doing out here?
Well, that's my business, but,
Seems pretty dangerous to be out here on your own.
well, about that. Well, I'm what you would call an Arbitrator of Grudges, and I'm on a mission by the magistrate. Are you familiar with the Dwarven culture at all?
No, not really.
Anyone here?
Everyone may make a history check. If you are not proficient in history, you will take it at disadvantage.
Can you roll that for me, Brady?
Sure.
My computer's like, I don't even know what it's doing.
Why am I rolling his wrench?
Probably.
What?
Oh, whoops.
My gosh, I rolled a 1. But I technically have advantage, or no.
You don't have
It's not-
advantage. It's a straight roll for you.
Straight roll.
But it's
That's-
disadvantage for anyone not proficient, which it looks like. Oh, you didn't need to roll again. So whenever you roll, actually, did you roll for Aswrench? You did.
It was.
But you rolled a natural 19 as wrench, so I'll give you the 19. Or wait, 19 and a 6. I'll give you the 6 since you aren't proficient.
Yeah.
And as Tolktier tells you about this grudge thing, or the magistrate, you're all kind of just like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
And yeah, the librarian's just sitting there looking at him with a smile and just shaking his head as if he really understands.
Okay. Let me just break it down.
How was your trip to Mexico there, Justin?
So, dwarves, when anybody does a slight to us in any of our clans, they go to the magistrate and they submit that grudge. And then it gets written down. If it passes, verification, it gets written down in the Book of Grudges. And the magistrate has people like me who go out and arbitrate those grudges on behalf of the Dwarven people. And my work takes me all around the world. I am one of the grudge arbitrators. So why I'm here is not really important. It's just I'm here to settle a score. But I've been to this island a few times before, and it's always very dangerous. And Brady, how are we? You elaborate on what you decided for me being here again? Did I come with a group?
Like,
or
who
no?
are you looking for?
No. How did I get here? Like, did I have a group? Did I have one?
Yeah. So you had hired a group of folks so that they could take you to finding somebody named Igwilv.
Okay.
And you came in through Gamdaral, but during your journey to finding Myth Hollow, or at least getting to a location where you had heard that Igwilv frequents, you and your group were attacked by some creature. You're not exactly sure what it was. You have no idea. The mercenaries you were with had no idea, and they had all actually protected you because they know that your task is worth more than their lives. So they helped you flee the area, and they held off the creature. They knew which direction you were going, and after a few days' travel, you waited, but they never came. And so now you heard the fighting between this group and the Zenogre and the Glavinus. You came to investigate, and that's when you found Dusty waiting for the group to come back.
Okay. Well, upon hearing that, I explain that to everybody and say, well, I thought you were the group that I came with, potentially. I haven't seen them in a few days, and I kind of lost them. You wouldn't all happen to know a person named Igwilf? Yeah, I can't say the name.
Igwilf,
would you?
Son of a bitch.
Is that a yes?
We've
That's where we're headed. Convenient.
Okay.
You wanna?
Oh, no. Why? Sure. Yes.
Do you want to chill with us? We have an open slot.
What do you mean?
I kind of like look towards the guy that's almost cut in half.
Yeah, I squat towards him too. Yeah, this guy's not looking too good.
Oh, geez.
So I imagine I'm like, I'm kind of doing like he's like riding my shoulders, so like I have his legs up on my shoulders and his kind of flopped over backwards, and I assume that means his arms are dragging on the ground.
Yep.
Oh no.
My God.
So, who was this? Was this someone you obviously part of your group?
He was one of our travel companions.
He was my best friend.
Oh,
Poor Jim.
what happened to
Probably
him?
give him a proper funeral.
He got mutilated by a giant monster.
Oh,
The
I
bad
see.
piece.
basil geese?
No,
Oh no, the Glavinus. Sorry.
Glavinus.
Fabulous.
We've had a lot of things recently. They're all kind of blending together.
I see.
Hey,
Like-
so,
Literally the same day.
well, on the bright side, you're just as new as me. I literally just joined them not too long ago.
Okay. Well, I seem to have lost my guide, and are you a guide? Any of you guys? I think just Dusty here is just the guide, but
Dusty writes down on a sheet of paper and he goes, "Yes, I am a guide, and you can tag along with us.
okay.
Just know that I would like some type of compensation, but because
Of course,
you
of
didn't
course.
agree to this journey, I will not force you."
Of course. Well, I would appreciate it. 'Cause I've been to Zowan a few times, but I never know my way around. It's quite hard. But okay.
Dusty writes
Well-
another message. So now that you have a new comrade, do we still want to go to Gamdaral and rest a bit before trying to either catch a ship over to Myth Hollow in the Rotten Vale? Or do we want to press from here? It should only be, well, if we wait for the airship, it could be upwards of maybe 2 days before they reach us.
How does it take the damn airship longer to get here than it took us?
Well, one, you have to wait for favorable winds. And two, with this rain and the clouds that are being generated from it, it could make very easy for an ambush from aerial creatures. And I don't know what type of airship you're able to call. May I see the flare?
Sure. I throw it at him.
He observes it. He hands it back to you and starts to write a note. This we'll call one of the lesser airships, mainly made for hauling a creature corpse back and forth, or a captured creature. The defenses are not very keen, especially in this area. Did you all purchase this on purpose, knowing you'd come to the volcano?
It was given to us.
Oh, well, whoever gave it to you, I don't believe that they ever were intending on using it themselves. There are different flares that summon different airships. Obviously, there's a scale to how much each of these cost, and although it is a kind gesture, using so out here and so far away from Gamdaral could be difficult for the crew. Not impossible, though. So, hopefully that answers your question.
Yes and no. I mean, is it even worth it to use the gun then? Can we just
Kind of
not
shrugs.
bring the parts that we cut off as proof?
Well, you are going to get the contract, since you did kill the creature. You have a horn and other materials gathered, I assume. That should suffice in completing the contract. Bringing back the body always gives you a bonus, but honestly, I bet the bonus is very close to the cost of this flare. So
I thought that we had to bring the body to get the bonus.
You do have to bring the body.
You do to get the bonus. To finish,
No matter
you
what,
do
we
not.
still get the
Oh,
contract.
I meant to say to get the contract, not the bonus.
Oh, gotcha.
And he shakes his head. Only if you were to capture it. If you captured the creature, then yes, the body must come back before the creature wakes up.
Well, then, I don't know about you guys. Fuck it, let's go to the Igwell.
Yeah, if we don't have to bring the body back, then we can just leave it and then move on. Because we have the parts that we cut off, so.
Very well,
Yeah.
then. Do you all wish to rest for a while, or shall we go on our way?
How close to death are we? I don't even know. I can't. I think
Um,
my Chrome is finally opening.
you are only missing like 20 HP.
Classic
Yeah.
DM doesn't attack the tank during the battle with the melee creature.
I'm at full health.
Same.
And I still have a couple spells left that I can do. So, I mean, we can move on for now. I don't mind not taking a break at this moment in time.
I'm fine. He's not. I point towards Lloyd's dead body. He would have needed a break, but
Yeah, let's take care of his burial first, or whatever we decide to do, whether it's a pyre or burying him. But let's take care of that, and then we can head out.
And Dusty writes
I have
one
an
more
idea.
message. We need to make sure that if we do bury him, we bury him rather deep. Some of the creatures are quite keen on digging up their food.
I have a way cooler idea.
Better just to bring him back with us if you're worried about things eating him.
We could just throw him into the lava on one of these things. That'd be a pretty cool ceremony.
Oh, interesting.
I kind of shrug. Is that disrespectful? I don't know. It sounds cool.
I don't know either. It's not
Dusty-
like we talked about how we want to be buried.
Yeah, I know
Dusty
for
writes a
sure,
message. In all honesty, I know if it was me and I lost my consciousness, I would prefer to be completely destroyed, especially as one of flesh and bone. I've heard that there's magic that can bring one's back and not be in full control.
Well, one thing we could do is we could drop his body into the lava over there.
Yeah.
Really what Joe or Jim just said.
Oh, he said that? My bad.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Lava it is then.
Very well.
You don't have to join us if you don't want to, Tolktier, but you're welcome to if you'd like.
Oh no, you. I'll just wait here.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, it's raining.
Okay,
Dusty writes a message and hands it to you, Tolktier, and it probably would be best to stay as a group, especially after all the ruckus that this battle has wrought. Creatures might start to investigate the area soon.
All right.
Take over the area.
All right. And I head along.
Okay. So you guys begin moving back towards the volcano, and it doesn't take you too long, as you know there's explosions all around. You find one that's suitable, large enough rather, for a average human corpse. And Dusty writes a message and hands it off to Jim. I will be within eye and earshot, but I will give you this time to reflect and have some privacy. And Dusty walks away.
Well,
I'll go
I
and walk
guess,
with Dusty.
well, I guess this is not my place to be here as well. And I followed him.
All right, Jim. Looks like it's you and me.
It's just, wow. That happened fast, didn't it? We're the only. Remember when he was a big monkey? That was funny.
That was pretty cool. I mean, they don't know him, and in all honesty, we didn't truly know him all that well either. But I'm sorry that he had to give his life for this.
Sad.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
The way
so
he
are
probably
we...
would have wanted to go, though.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm assuming he probably would have preferred not to go at all, but yeah.
I'm sure he'll have his chance. He's been brought back multiple times already.
True. Hopefully, whatever next reincarnation he'll have better luck. Are we at the top of the volcano now, or are we like at the bottom?
No, y'all are still at the base.
Okay. I guess let's start heading up then.
Oh no, we're at a spot where we can throw him in.
Oh, we are?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of little, like, lava plumes all over the place that you're able to
Oh, I was just
throw 'em
picturing
in.
like volcano and that was it, and we had to go to the top. Gotcha.
No, going to the top would probably take hours of climbing.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna take out 2 gold coins and I'm gonna put them on his eyes and be like, okay, let's do this, Jim.
Alley-oop. Just kind of push him into the lava like I would imagine you would put someone into a wood chipper. Slowly.
You also said while you did
Do
it.
you do it head first or feet first?
Definitely head first.
Oh my god.
So Jim's got Lloyd by the ankles, and Jim's not very tall, so he has to like drag him and then like heave him over. And by the time like the body hits the lava plume, like it's in almost like towards the bottom of the nipple, and he just starts slowly dunking it, and he's just like there's
Lifting it
like
back out to make sure it melted.
lifts it back out. There's like a skull looking at him that eventually melts and falls in. He's like, okay, cool. He's actually like melting. This is good. And then he keeps doing it slowly. You hear the sizzling. Everybody within this area hears the sizzling, and it's just slow and painful to hear. You see the smoke coming from the corpse. It smells awful.
Really good. Oh,
Well, maybe now that you've got a taste. Jim keeps on getting, and eventually like he gets to a point where like the lava kind of like there's a little bubble, it pops, and a little bit of lava hits your finger, and you go and you drop the body, and the rest of it goes into the lava plume, getting swallowed up really quickly, way quicker than what you were doing with the wood chipper idea. And as this happened, Frederick is flying around, remains silent, but eventually he lands at the lava pit and looks into it. And then it looks up and it starts to fly over towards Tolktir.
aw. It looks like he's got a new friend.
I look at the familiar.
The owl lands on your shoulder, finding some sort of solace in you, and it takes its beak and grabs the ring from around its leg, like around the ankle of its leg, pulls the ring off and places it in your hand. And for a moment, you can hear a voice in your head that says, I believe that you match my old summoner's abilities, so I hope while I look for purpose that this comes in handy for you, for I will not need it.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Where are you gonna go then?
As Frederick leaves your shoulder and starts flying, I believe I wish to find a druid companion that seems to be friends with this group. But I have no idea where he may be.
Okay. Well, good luck.
This is
with
only in
Perhaps-
his head.
This is only in Tolktir's head, yes.
Okay.
But hopefully I find him, and if you all ever are to run into him, I will see you again. Take care of my summoner's belonging. He entrusted it to me, and now I entrust it to you.
Well, thank you.
And I do believe that there's a polymorph still inside of it.
Yeah.
So, as you look at the ring, it doesn't take you long to become attuned to it, but I will give you back your ring of spell storing, and it does have a spell already in it, so you'll be able to put your own spell in it if you wish.
Okay. Upon hearing all this, I go back to everybody and say, so your companion there, he was a wizard, correct?
Was.
Did he, forgive me, this is a little forward, but did he happen to have any spell books with him?
Probably. There's a lot of stuff in his bag that we haven't really gone through yet, and since he was a wizard, I'm assuming he has a spell book or two in there.
Would you mind if I take a look by chance? I'm sort of good at learning spells fast. Is what I'm getting at. It's kind of my specialty.
You know, in fact, we have 2 spell books.
Can't hear you, Jim.
Oh, that's because I was far away. Like I'm still coming from where
So we got Kevin.
Lloyd was.
Kevin is playing Lightbringer.
He had another
This
spell
gentleman
book.
right here.
Oh,
We got Joe, who's playing Three-Toed Jim.
you
We've
said
got
he was
Jeffrey
nearly
playing
cut in half.
Tolktir.
Is,
And then we got
stuff
Kirsten
really
playing Trina.
Intact?
Yeah,
How are
it's in
you
his
doing,
backpack.
Matt?
Could I take a look, if you don't mind?
I don't care.
You can be Wrench, the
I go
Kobold
and try and Take a
Artificer.
look, Brady.
Okay.
And what
So-
do I find?
You're looking in the spell book, right? That's what you said?
Well, I know out of character that there was 2 spell books. There was
Yeah.
Agent J's and the remains of mine. I just want to see if any of those
Correct.
survived.
Let's see. They both do have damages to them. But
Okay.
there are a few spells in each of the books as you quickly scroll through that you would be able to utilize. I didn't go
Okay.
through and change the sheet to do so yet. So I'll have it for sure by next
Yeah,
session.
we don't
what
have
all
to
you
do
can
that. I
do.
just want to see if I could take those by chance. Okay, well, thank you.
I'm
The
glad
Gloomhaven
that
game.
the little
What's it called? Is it
birdie
called
gave you that ring.
Gloomhaven? Is it on Steam?
Oh yeah, that was quite nice.
Should be useful.
Yeah, they mentioned that since I matched the last summoner of them, he felt some sort of like bond with me, and thought I'd be able to use this.
Well, I mean, if it's the
Interesting.
Gloomhaven that I know
Brady,
came out.
Do I know what it is? As
Oh, I've had it actually. I think.
Or
think
like I know it's
hold
a ring that like do I know exactly what the name is and whatnot? Exact details.
I would say yes.
Okay.
There's a couple folks in the magistrate that have this exact ring. So you know that you're able to cast spells into it, and until those spells get utilized, it remains into the ring, so that you can
Okay.
cast it later without having to use your spell slots. It's pretty
Yeah,
neat.
Okay. Well, then I say I've heard of this ring here. It's quite useful in a lot of ways. Brady, could I bring out my familiar then?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see, I'm looking at.
Yes, Matt, it is Jeff. Jeff plays as Tolktir the Wizard. It's an owl,
Can I bring
correct?
No, can I do a bat this time?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me get a bat token for you.
That's cool.
Lightbringer looks to Trina and Jim and says, well, I don't know if this brings any closure or anything to Lloyd, but in all fairness, he probably would have been quite delicious if Thorpe was still alive.
What? I look
I'm
over.
going to slap you.
What? What'd I say? I mean, I'm not lying, am I?
Delicious. What are you
I would have made him a great meal. Oh, that's a story for another time.
You guys eat your own companions once they die?
No, we were being fed people by one of our old companions without our knowledge.
No. Just say no. Just stop. too much.
No, they don't. They
The
don't.
old companion? Did you him too?
Talk about it. So
Sometimes you just gotta say no, Trina. And just stop with no.
Well, I see that he's no longer. Wait,
So yeah, Matt, I do have the Gloomhaven game already.
the one
I
that you just
played
threw
it
the lava.
in June
I'm
last
assuming another
time.
one. What? Regardless,
Looks like it's
you guys
just
like to eat
a.
people, or
absolutely not.
Oh, I think it was in beta
Okay.
when I played
well,
it.
that's good.
And
That
he
makes sense.
leans over.
I was a little
over
confused
towards
for a second.
to our new friend here. Like, hey, yeah, they probably might like it. I don't know. The man knew how to cook.
I'm having visible second thoughts about being in the party.
Oh no.
Anyway, I looked at Dusty. I looked at everybody else. I see that you did your burial, or whatever this was. Do you guys have anything else you want to do here?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. Well, let us keep going then.
Yeah, let's find the Wicked Witch of the West.
Woohoo! Wicked witch.
So this Igwil, what do you exactly know about them?
I know that she's kind of a hag, maybe. She's a
Okay.
witch
Very powerful.
associated with hags and uber powerful.
I see.
I think she's started to say she was the daughter of Baba Yaga, or
And that name piques my interest, would it not, Brody?
I don't think Jim knows that shit.
you
Oh, he
said it
doesn't.
out
I
loud
know.
when I was talking to Elspeth.
When we were
Did I?
talking to
Yeah.
Natasha, yeah.
I don't think
If-
she ever said
If
that.
Kirsten heard that and knows who Baba Yaga is, you definitely said it in session.
We discussed it before. Well, I don't
Elspeth
remember, though.
said Baba Yaga is their mom, and that she created them, and the most powerful were the seven. And they lost their powers temporarily after the big hoo-ha with whatever happened with the world.
Oh man, those Game of Thrones notes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I really don't remember saying Baba Yaga, but I definitely know that you take notes. So I apologize. Continue. Before my rude
Apparently,
interruption.
I don't know anything. So I don't
I'm
know.
cool with
She's
that.
some girl.
What's your intelligence? Hold on.
Higher than it
I'm
should
just
be.
yeah, I know, right? You've got nice above average stats.
But regardless, Brady, would the name Baba Yaga ring a bell to me?
You can roll Arcana with disadvantage.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So that the name Igwil is not in the notebook here. I just don't know what you have planned for me with this.
Should be in the journal entry.
Uh,
You see the journal that I've got?
the notebook of grudges, right? Under
No,
lore.
no. So go to the right where the chat log is and all the buttons at the top. The silvery one in the middle.
Hold on.
That is the journal entries. And that I have a thing called the Notebook of Grudges that I have written out for you.
Okay.
And what
so
you're
it's-
looking for is Natasha the Dark.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, yeah, her name's Igwil, but she's not going by Igwil.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's going by Natasha Romanov or something like that.
I wonder if I got stats for that.
Supposedly she's pretending to be, what was it, Jim, a priestess?
Yeah, something like that. And apparently, we have to gain her trust to. I don't.
Make her lose her cool.
Yeah, and she's got one of my toes, and fuck, God, we're gonna have to
Your
deal with a
toes.
couple things.
I'm sorry, Jim.
I look down at his feet. Then look back at Jim.
Oh yeah, I'm three-toed Jim.
I see that. I don't know about you, but usually can't really reattach toes. I'm not sure if you should just write it off as a lost cause there, but
Yeah, it's kind of feeling like that.
But I mean, I have a reason to go to Natasha, or Igwil, but I.
Yeah. So my toes represent my family members that are being captured by and tortured by hags, so I have to retrieve them. It's like some game. So
Did you sign
they're
up for this game?
they're probably dead already. No,
Oh.
I don't really want to talk about it right now.
Oh well. My
It's very
condolences.
As I like grip my axe a little tighter.
Don't mean to pry too much into your life. I didn't know. Sorry.
It's a sensitive subject right now. Don't worry about it.
Well, all I know is that I should be heading off to Myth Hollow. That's around where Natasha is, or Igwil, as you say.
Yeah.
So, I look over to Dusty. How far away is Myth Hollow from here? Or where we will be going to after we... they have a ship coming, apparently.
Dusty writes out, well, if we're waiting for the ship, we should be able to get to Myth Hollow within 5 days, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the speed of the ship and if we are actually waiting. If not, we happen to be in a favorable location of the volcano. We can go in between the volcano and the Coral Highlands to get to the Rotten Vale, which will bring us close to Myth Hollow, roughly within maybe 2.5 days' journey at best.
Alright, let's just go then.
Yeah, I think the plan was to just move on.
Guys, do you think that that was a test that he knew we would fail? Or what the hell?
Who's he?
Our...
We made
The what?
an acquaintance we made while at what's the city called?
Gamdaral or
Gamdaral.
Kriat?
Amdaral.
What was this acquaintance?
Lord Saxon Carlisle.
Okay.
Lord Saxon Carlisle.
Brady, discussed earlier.
Lord
I know this person.
Saxon.
Yes.
Oh, Lord Saxon, I know him.
You dealt with a
Friends.
grudge that you closed on him.
He helped me with a grudge not too long ago. Real nice.
He didn't help
swell
you.
fellow.
He had a grudge that you completed.
Oh, he had. Okay. Regardless, very nice fellow, very polite.
What did you do for him? No,
No.
wrong guy. Wrong guy.
Well, that's official. Grudge arbitrator, grudge bearer business. I can't quite divulge what I did for them.
Okay, whatever. Fine.
Do you actually like Saxon?
Yeah, very polite. Very polite.
Oh.
It's gonna change, I promise.
He's a funny fellow.
I think we just really pissed him off.
Yep.
Or, I don't know. What's the point of giving us that goddamn note if he knew we were gonna do that? I don't...
He can see into the future. So
I feel like...
Uh,
I feel like since he knew what was gonna happen, he did that just to play a game with Elsbeth.
he did. He loves
Instead
fucking
of-
people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he did. I don't think it was necessarily a test.
Or it was both.
Well, if he told me that Thorpe was gonna die, he can't be too bad of a guy.
Who really cares? Fuck that guy.
Well, regardless,
We're gonna have to deal with that star spawn too.
during this time, Brady, could I be writing down these notes in my journal, like what they
Yeah.
say? And could I just use my could I use Mage Hand to write, like, with my quill into my book?
Sure. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I say to the rest of them,
Just eat her.
hey, check it out. He's taking notes.
That's fine. It's very confusing, so.
Yeah, just need to get names and understand what's going on.
Oh.
Anything that I can use to help with my grudge, I'd settle.
Hmm.
And this information will
Hey, so, Mr. Guy, Toki,
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 yes.
Toki,
Toki.
Toki,
Oh,
Tier.
Tier, Toki,
Tier.
Togepi?
top tier, but oh,
Your intelligence is showing. Just checking. Maybe it's your
I don't-
charisma, actually.
I don't know if
I
you've
don't know.
noticed, Jim always has a hard time with names.
I could say that's charisma.
Thing the whole time. Toktier.
Tier of House Idane. Yes.
Is Tier your last name?
No, Tier's my first name.
Okay. Well, what do you need to do with this Igwilv?
Well, that's personal and private business. I'm not allowed to divulge
Well,
that.
you know, that's fine. But if we roll up with you and I'm trying to do something very specific and then you just attack her, I don't want to go with you. So we need to not aggravate this woman.
Well, I'll let you know now, based on the grudge. Not allowed to tell you specifics, but I'm not trying to attack her. So.
Yeah, you just mean.
Hey. I think it would only be
At
fair,
least
you know?
if you're gonna aggravate her, do it after I do my thing, because
Are you sure you're not going to aggravate her? I
um,
prefer to do my thing first, because it's very simple in and out.
I don't really care.
Very simple in and out. Oh, we try to sleep with her.
No. Jeez, gosh, no. Gods, no.
that's probably the smart choice.
A hag? Are you kidding me?
Oh,
No.
man. Sleeping with a hag? That would be an experience. Hey, have you seen Elsbeth? She's hot.
Moving on. Let's get along with this journey. We can talk on the way. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
He just starts walking.
Okay. So as you guys are walking, you go towards the, or you actually are walking alongside the volcano. Dusty's in the lead with about 20 feet in front of you guys, keeping a careful eye. Periodically throughout your journey, he writes notes saying that so far everything seems to be pretty quiet around the volcanic area. He's also relieved that the fog is so thick, because it's going to make it a lot easier for you all to hear something coming and give you plenty of time to hide before it or whatever may be in the area even sees you. So as you finish your journey for the rest of the day, a few hours pass all the way until it starts to get to where it's becoming dark out. You guys make it quite a ways. You make it past the halfway point of the volcano before Dusty writes saying visibility is going to be extremely low. We should probably look for a place to make camp. There's still plenty of forest to the north that we could take advantage of, or we could try to find an abandoned cave. Which would you all rather do?
There's probably more creatures that fight over the caves, correct?
Well, he writes out a note, depending on how large they are. There are some natural caves that come from volcanoes that are formed because of lava tubes, lava expelling from the base of the volcano.
I vote for cave.
What? Caves? Why do you want to? I mean, I'm a dwarf, and I'm like, I don't prefer like run-of-the-mill caves, but we don't have to sleep in a cave.
I just don't know if I'd want to be caught in a cave trying to defend it or a creature coming after us.
I mean, you don't have to worry about that with me here.
One way in and one way out.
What can you do?
I mean, I can make a little hut for us.
Oh, the hut thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend used to be able to do that too.
Wait, hut thing? What are you talking about?
The magic hut.
Or that, I have to see this for myself.
I mean, is this where you guys want to have camp, or no?
I'll leave that decision to the professional. Dusty, do you think this is an okay place to camp? Or should we find somewhere a little bit more sheltered?
He scribbles a message and says, I mean, this should be perfectly fine if it's the same hut that your friend Lloyd was able to use. I would just recommend that we get as close to the side of the volcano as possible so that it looks like just an ordinary boulder.
For me, gentlemen.
I'm down. Go for it.
Okay. Well, I find a little spot, and well, actually, I need to use the bathroom first. You know, can't leave the hut for about 8 hours, so I'm gonna go do my business. Be right back.
Holy shit, have I just shit in my pants this whole time? I've never roleplayed going to the bathroom.
Yes.
Have I been holding it for 2 months?
Yes. I'm just joking. No.
Well, that battle did work up a whiz, so I guess I'll run to the bathroom too.
Kind of thing.
Me too, and all three of us go stand in a line. Alright, roll for dick size.
Oh my god.
I get a d12 because I'm a barbarian.
You cut that in half because you're a halfling.
No, I'm a barbarian.
But you're a halfling, it's in the name.
Yeah, but I'm a barbarian, it's in the name. D12 hit die.
That means you're half a man.
It's not rolling, so I don't know.
I knew what you were trying to roll for. I was judging you for it.
Anyway, unless... Oh.
No,
if you gentlemen have things that you wish to discuss while taking your whiz, feel free.
Lightbringer is just staring at Jim for a little bit, still with this sharp grin on his face.
While I'm peeing?
Yeah, just looking at. He ain't looking at your dick. He's looking at your face. Just staring at you while letting loose.
Thanks.
Roll, god damn it. Are you sure you're not looking?
He's like, hey.
They call me three-legged Jim as well.
And he like looks at your face and then looks down, still with the grin on his face. Impressive cock, Jim.
Oh god.
And this is the last session for Kirsten.
I'm done.
Me too.
Next session. Hey, I can't make it today. Heart Kirsten. It's like, okay. Session after that. Ah, man, something came up. Can't make it today. That's so weird.
We haven't had a dick joke in a while.
That's I know, true. Right? All right. Zips up. Comes back to get to the meeting area. Still staring at Jim.
What?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just amazed at how similar the both of us are.
Oh yeah?
Yes. I'll tell you later. Too soon.
Well, I'll tell you one thing is 2 people in our group died today, so you might want to spit it out soon before it's too late.
Oh, no, 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 no. Much too soon. I gotta make sure you guys can trust me just as well as I can. See if I can trust you. Wouldn't want to just spout out my old personal business as soon as I joined you all. How do I know that you guys wouldn't betray me on the blink of an eye?
Yeah.
And you see, as he says that, you see like his smirk slowly fade away, but perks right back up to a smile. Now it's the first time that you've ever seen so far this man's smile go away.
So you don't like betrayal, huh?
It's actually a really good board game, so.
Good board game.
That is a subject I will tell you on a campfire story one day.
Okay.
Speaking of campfire stories,
Hey, he wants
as
inspiration.
Tolktir finishes his ritual casting of Tiny Hut, you guys all pile in, sheltered from the light rain, and in a nice comfy location.
Oh! Sir, what else can you do? Tokepi?
Tolktir. Not Tokepi. Tolktir.
Yo, is Lightbringer... That's not even a name. Do you have a name?
I do. I did. Now it's Lightbringer.
Why Lightbringer? You work for a demon. Sorry, an arch, whatever.
Oh, because I bring light to everyone's lives. At least I think I do. Right? I'm funny, right?
You picked the name Lightbringer?
Yes.
That's a title, man.
So it is. Fitting, right? Someone as inspirational as me. True name will come in time.
Ew.
Maybe I'll share you a bit of business that I've had in my past. Today's not the day, though. As his toothy
the
grin,
mystery
toothy grin
thickens.
just turns into a smirk.
Can you not feed us people, though? That would be great.
Oh! No.
That's
As I told you before, I don't
That's a
do
one-way ticket out of this group, by the way.
As he looking at Toktir. Hey, yeah, don't feed us people now. Wouldn't want to have to kill you. As he sits there and stares at him with his toothy grin.
Can we
He
stop?
tilts his head a little bit.
I might start vomiting again everywhere.
Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, so I wouldn't be too on edge about me. I'm definitely not like Thorpe, as he holds up air quotes.
How come you need to air quote Thorpe?
Because that's not his real name.
Oh.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, didn't you tell us it was Hannibal or something?
Oh, yes. Yes, a man's an accomplished serial killer. That's probably why he was chosen. Me, I was chosen for different reasons, which ties into my past, which I don't want to tell you today. And then the other one, she was chosen for different reasons, but I don't know, more ambitious reasons. So, yeah, it's quite complicated. Yeah, I know. And I know I'm not the most charming fellow as much as I want to be. And my record is definitely not clean. But I try to do my best around society, even though people are afraid of me. But you, Jim, I'm surprised at how well you're keeping it up. All that news about your family is it's quite heavy, I must say.
Yeah, I'm just blocking it out. Thanks for bringing it up.
Hey, best way to deal with situations like this is to face it head on.
I'm trying.
Yeah, see? Enthusiasm, I love it!
You know, I'm just gonna take it as that she was just mad and saying things that would upset me, because I hope that's the case.
Oh, believe you me, Jim, I know that pain. Trina, what about you?
If that's the case and I've been fighting for nothing, I don't know if I could make it anymore.
He puts his hand on Jim's shoulder. Hold on to that pain, Jim. It will definitely help you.
Yeah, you don't know for certain.
I channel it into anger.
Exactly.
I think I'm too angry to die now.
Indeed,
it's complete.
Yes. More. Tell me more. I want to hear that anger.
The edgelord halfling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, it's not my fault. When Brady's your damn DM, you just turn into an edgelord automatically.
Whoa,
because you have
whoa, 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 whoa.
Darn.
You made the story.
I didn't say that they're all already zombies. In my mind, they were savable.
You didn't say they weren't zombies, though.
Yeah, I didn't say they were, or weren't,
I mean,
or are, or could be, or may. Yeah.
Well, it just depends on how tragic you want the story of Jim to end, I suppose.
Yikes.
What about you, Trina? Any fucked up things about your past?
Sure.
She's got this cool scythe.
Yeah, it's quite dashing, actually.
Thank you. It was a gift.
Yeah, I prefer the elegance of he grabs his claymore. The elegance of hacking away.
I wouldn't necessarily call that quite elegant, but okay.
Would you like to hold her?
No, I'm good, thank you.
You sure? She's quite a beauty.
I'm not a claymore person.
All right, suit yourself. What about you, Jim? Want to hold her? Maybe I'll cheer you up. Here. Hands over his claymore.
Is it a magical sword?
It is not. It's a claymore that has a special name.
So it's breakable?
It is.
Yeah.
How close are we to a lava plume?
I mean, they're around.
This is a pretty nice sword. Would be a shame if it fell into some lava.
Absolute shame. I agree.
And when I'm wielding this thing, it has the heavy attribute, doesn't it?
Correct.
So I can't really wield it correctly. It's just straight up too big for a halfling to hold. So I'm like holding it, and I mean, you've seen me handle an axe and probably even a sword before. Oh no, you haven't. Trina has. And it just looks so clumsy in my hands because the handle is the size of my body. It's like, you know what? I don't think I can really use this very well.
Oh, very well. I would have thought you were pretty strong. You want to feel the weight of it.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm hauling around.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the weight, it's... And I, like, kind of move the sword like you would, and the handle's, like, hitting my chest, and, like, my forearms just aren't long enough when I'm swinging it.
Oh. Looks like I wouldn't... Not gonna lie, Jim. That looks kind of hilarious in your hands. But hey... Hopefully, you know, maybe you could practice with it. I don't know. Not too sure what to say in this situation, actually.
No, I don't need to, and I, like, extend my axe.
Ooh.
I have this.
Very well. Grab the grab the claymore from him and stick it into the ground. Well, I guess I don't know. Strength was kind of throwing me off a bit. You know what? I could let you hold my blade. That sounds kind of wrong, doesn't it? Let you hold my blade.
At least it's not a hammer.
All right.
But that's enough cock jokes for you, Lightbringer.
All right. So, Torbjorn, is that your name?
Oh, dear.
Ready
Oh,
to
dear.
burn.
So, you literally can't tell us anything about you?
I mean, not my current contracts. No, I can tell you about old ones. The ones that have been settled.
Okay, I guess that works.
But yeah, Brady, I'm not sure if you've made major dwarven capitals or cities yet, and I haven't given you any names for anything other than like my own name.
That's fine. I mean, I have stuff, so I guess
Yeah.
really anything too outlandish I can just make up.
No, I was gonna say I come from like the main dwarven.
The Mithril born clans empire.
Yes.
So you come from a place called Bel Boram.
Okay. I was gonna have me come from like a lesser like house, like Idane or something like that. And nothing major, just another one of the many lesser houses that make up the clan.
Yeah, so the Mithril-born clan, they're the essentially the way the dwarven structure works is the clans that hold power go through a cycle. So once the king of the Mithril-born clan, once he gets of old enough age and finally dies or dies in battle, which would be more glorious, the heir to the throne then has to compete against the other houses. And it can be any house. It could be even lesser-born houses. They have a chance to compete. And essentially these competitions they're not always combat. Sometimes they're drinking games in the beginning of these competitions to see who is worthy of becoming the next king, the next leader of the clan. So currently the empire is ruled by the Mithril-born clan, but it hasn't always been that way. But over the past 4 kings, it has been Mithril-born clan. So do with that what you will.
Should I be cheating? No, just kidding.
I am the firstborn son of my clan, or my minor house, or a firstborn son of my minor house. We have a tradition where all firstborn sons go to the magistrate to help them in whatever way they can, and the magistrate has picked me to help with the grudges, to be an arbitrator of the grudges, or a grudge bearer. So my role is to go to the council, and there's a council of 10 that oversees the Book of Grudges. and they divvy out grudges for their acolytes or their whoever is going up through the ranks to assist them, and I happen to be one of them. As you can see, I'm a wizard, but not everybody is a wizard that assists with these grudges. You can be anywhere from clerics, wizards to warriors, fighters.
Now, I have a question,
Yes.
Torbjorn.
Tolktir. And I've told you all plenty of times, my name is Tolktir.
A grudge, is that just another word for a contract?
No, it's well, I guess it would be a contract to the council or the magistrate, but it's not a traditional contract as you might see it. In dwarf society, we take ourselves respect. We take our people, trade deals, respect one another in very high regard. So when someone does a slight to us, whether that be, say, selling someone faulty equipment, or insulting someone's honor, or selling someone something that ends up killing them, we record those slights, and if they pass verification, they get written down in the Book of Grudges, and those grudges, or anything that's done against one dwarf is done against all dwarven kind in our eyes. So we go out to arbitrate those grudges. We take on the responsibility of bearing those for all dwarven kind to right the wrongs that have been done upon us.
So, like, would you get them if someone gave one of your friends bad equipment? You would go and like get good equipment.
It depends on
grudge
what
solved.
the council decides. But it could be if the equipment ended up killing the individual, then we would most likely get first of all, we get the payment for what they've paid for the equipment. Then if it comes to killing them, if it's in a grudge, I go out and exercise the will of the council and take their life. It really just depends on what the grudge details are.
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Like I had one a few years ago where like a lesser noble went out on an adventure. Him and his 3 compatriots, they stopped by a town and they ordered some provisions from the blacksmith. Some new shoes for their ponies, some mail, some weapons. They were on a long journey, and their finely crafted dwarven weapons and armor have deteriorated and broke, so they had to resort to using like human weapons and gear. And in the process, the blacksmith sold them very faulty materials that ended up breaking in battle and causing the death of the young noble. And I had to go out and exercise 3 times the payment of what they paid, and I eventually took the life of the blacksmith. And the family of the lesser noble, he was, he was properly given compensation, not only to his family, material-wise, but also their honor. Because no family should have to lose their son so early on just due to a lack of professionalism. So you could say these are serious affairs.
Okay.
We take our work seriously.
So, are you a registered magic user with the Empire?
Empire. As far as I know, Brady,
you would
we are not a part
know
of the Empire,
Tolktir.
right?
Yes, the Dwarven clan has kind of been not up in arms in terms of like ready to go to war, but they are the relationship gets stretched each and every day between the Mithril-born clan and the dwarves and Krayot and the Thurian Empire.
Because we're not
the
part
dwarves.
of the Empire,
Correct. If you look on the map, look at the very, like the snowy lands in the top right, you'll actually, if you zoom in the mountain, you'll actually see where Bel Boram is. That's the capital of the Mithril-born clan. So that's essentially where you are. You guys are not anywhere near the Thurian Empire, at least not easily accessible. But there have been times where your own dwarven people, especially on the long journey to get to Dinosaur Island, would stop at Krayot or within the Thurian Empire for provisions and to rest after long times at sea. Because the dwarves don't technically do super well at sea, but you know they got to make things work somehow. And you guys have actually almost sparked conflict. Has started long before they became fanatics of getting rid of arcane magic, but since they started doing this get rid of all arcane magic in the world, divine magic is the only magic, which they've been doing that for, I would say, close to a decade now. The relationship is definitely strained, and the dwarves are fed up with it. They're just waiting for the next thing that will light the fuse. And you know that tensions are, the tension is there. So you do your best to avoid them. But sometimes the grudges call for you to go to the Thurian Empire. And you know that it's best for you to try and not use your magic, but sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, okay. Well then, I'll say to Jim, well, yeah, as you know, the Dwarven Empire, we don't fall under the jurisdiction of the Empire. You know, us dwarves were separate entities. Honestly, we don't really care for their fanatical decisions they made in the recent years. I mean, honestly, the tensions are quite high at the moment. You know, and I have to do what I have to do, but we're not beholden to their laws. And if they really want to start something, well, the Book of Grudges can always use a few more names.
You can put Gower in there. It's probably in there.
I don't think you would know who Gower is.
Yeah, I don't know who this Gower is, and honestly, we very rarely take grudges from humans or anybody else that's not a dwarf. So it's mostly in the benefit of dwarven kind, and it takes a very special person. So like Birdie, you said that Saxon had a grudge for him.
He did, yes.
And that was a special circumstance.
No, his grudge was essentially he had come to Bel Boram, and he disguised himself as a dwarf. Okay. But he did it so well that he actually looked like a noble. And when that noble showed up to whatever event was happening, he ended up getting that noble thrown out as a fake. And eventually it came to light that Lord Saxon was the one that was using magic to disguise himself. He apologized profusely, of course, and he ended up buying or providing the bill or footing the bill for the entire entertainment and food for the night. And the grudge that you needed to do was essentially a written letter from Lord Saxon to take to the noble as an apology.
Okay.
And he complied and sent more than just that. He also sent some very, very aged wine and some salted meats and things like that.
Okay. So I look to Jim and say, well, you're not really a dwarf, so I can't quite assist you with whatever grudge you're trying to push to me. And on the spot, I'm allowed to arbitrate some things, but generally, for larger scale items, they have to go to the council, their magistrate. So.
Well, I just asked because the last wizard, you saw him.
Yes.
We're all, like, in trouble because he was a magic guy, It was unregistered, so I didn't know the thing about the dwarves. But
So, to answer your initial question, no, I am not registered. No, I do not plan to be. But it's not within, and it's not really.
I have my freedoms.
Say again.
I have my freedoms. I know my rights.
Yes. Yes, I'm not too concerned about it.
I can use magic. You can still use magic without being registered. Doesn't mean you have to be registered to use magic.
Flat gang, baby. It's flat.
But I have heard there are members of the Empire on this island. But at the same time, I've also heard that this island does not fall under the jurisdiction of the Empire.
You also
But
know,
Yep.
just because of the sake of everything, the Myth Hollow is actually controlled by the Thurian Empire. It is their encampment.
Yeah.
And you know that Natasha the Dark, aka Igwilv, aka a bunch of other shit, is the High Priestess there. And probably the one that would... you could say that they're the mayor, for lack of a better term, but the High Priestess is definitely the highest ranking amongst most settlements in the Thurian Empire, and you would know this for sure.
Okay. Yes, and I know that we're going into Thurian Empire territory soon, but I don't plan to start anything there.
Man,
If
do
they
you
wanted
think
to
we
start
should have
something with
kept
me.
Lloyd's body and collected his bounty? That's kind of fucked up, right?
I don't
I
help us
have,
in the end.
I have no. I don't want to comment on that, but I do think it's an insult to his ancestors to burn him in such a way. Us Dwarven folk, we prefer our rituals of burying.
Yeah, you guys like to be underground. Yeah, don't worry.
Yes.
We wouldn't do you like that.
But as to
We'd probably just leave you there. But...
what was that?
Huh? What? We would bury you deep underground, I promise.
I prefer you send my body back to my clan, if that were the case.
You know, if it's possible, we'll do exactly what you want.
No, it will happen. All dwarves, we all get buried back with our clan in our burial hearths. But regardless,
we'll try.
As to your concern with the Empire, I wouldn't really be too concerned with dwarves and the Empire breaking out into fights, because I feel as if the Empire heavily relies on us for some of our trade, and I doubt they would want to risk compromising that over something as minor as this new role they've come out with the last 10 years. So anyone else have any questions for me?
So, do you have to, like, report to them?
Oh, I do. You mean the magistrate, of course?
Yes.
I do occasionally. They contact me at least once a month, and whenever I finish a contract, I notify them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, whenever I have to report back to my lord, I always just update him like, hey, yeah, this event happened. Oh, I've seen this. Oh, etc., etc. Just menial things.
Yeah, so let's just say I have ways of speaking with them. So.
As do I.
Yeah, and they're also, constantly giving me more and more grudges to bear. So.
Well, interesting to get to know you during our travel.
Thank you. Thank you. So, what exactly brings the rest of you to this island? I know that Jim is looking for his toes, and this. I look up at. I already forget your name. Sorry.
See?
Never told you. Lightbringer.
Oh, you didn't. Lightbringer, of course. Okay.
See, it's not that easy to remember names.
So, Lightbringer, what exactly brings you here?
Oh, funny story. Well, one of my former comrades died in their care, so naturally I had to take his place.
Let's see. Brady, I don't see Lightbringer in the player section. Is that something I just can't see?
No, hold on.
Okay, I see him now.
I need to make it to where you guys tier as well. Limited, I can't remember. When you click on his page, what all do you see? Do you see his bio and shit, or just his picture?
I just see his picture.
Okay. Actually, does he have anything in the bio? He
I don't have anything in my bio yet.
Let me. I'm gonna type something.
That's all good.
I just want to see if you guys see that if I put limited.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. Noted. So yeah, anything you don't want to be seen that's in your biography, put in the journal.
Okay. You know, I haven't put anything in mine yet. I've been lazy with
you're
that,
good.
but I will after this.
You honestly don't have to. It's all up to you. I like reading it, although it's fun.
Okay. So Lightbringer, so you're just assisting this group here, going with them.
Oh, definitely. Well, however, that kind of fell short a little bit, you know, given the death of Lloyd. But, oh well, you live and you learn. Well, in this case, he didn't live. But, you know, it can get worse from here. We could all die. Hell, you could die just from joining us. We might be cursed. This group might be cursed. Run! I tell you, run! I'm just playing.
Well, my life is indebted to my clan from birth. You know that us dwarves, we live for our clans. So, and my job is to fulfill these grudges. So, wherever that takes me, my life is forfeit. So danger is not really a concern to me.
Oh, do I know dedicating yourself to your clan? Us Goliaths, we have clans too.
Oh, and where do you hail from, if you don't mind me asking?
Ooh. Well, that's a story for another time.
Understandable.
Kind of, you know, it's great. He scratches his cheek. You know, kind of complicated. But on the bright side, everything I've been through has led me here. Of course, I'm with this group, so could be worse. I mean, before I came to them, I was doing contracts and doing assassinations and stuff like that, so kind of helpful to like be able to do something new for once.
And where do you plan to go after this?
Well, that is not for me to determine. Depends on if my lord still needs me to be here or if he needs me somewhere else.
And when you say lord, do you mean like a king or a noble or something else? But...
Oh no, my lord Archdevil.
Oh.
Yeah.
You catch a glimpse of Jim, like with his eye. He's kind of like looking down, probably eating a snack, and his eyes just kind of like widen. Yeah.
I see. Well, be careful with those entities. They often trick you and get you indebted to them. Very nasty business.
Oh no, I am well aware. I am very indebted to him. That feller saved my life. My lord Despater saved my life.
All hail.
And I take my quill and I, mage hand and write in my book, Despater, you said?
Yes, Despater. He like looks at the looks at the journal and looks at him, darting back and forth.
And then I look over to Trina and yourself.
Myself?
And I look over. When I look at Trina, do I see somewhat pointy ears?
Yeah, you can tell that she's a half elf, though.
Oh boy.
Most
give,
races, from what I've read
yeah.
anyway, are able to tell. At least most races besides humans. Humans, for whatever reason, are usually oblivious to the fact, but especially because you're a dwarf, and it doesn't mean that dwarves hate elves by any means, but
But
they have
do.
their
they do.
differences.
I give Trina a leery look and say, I see that you have some, I give a slight sneer, elvish blood in you, I see.
I do.
Nothing personal, but just,
That
as long as
sneer
we-
certainly looks personal.
No, just
Fuck you
trying
and
to get
your
over
entire
some,
people, is what he's saying.
Ooh.
as long as we stay on the right foot, we'll be fine.
Good start, says Jim.
So you're saying I have to be the one to keep us on the
No. I'm just saying. Let's go. Keep it cordial.
Oh, digging holes. Dig them deeper.
You remember when she didn't say anything about you being a dwarf? She was doing a good job.
So where do you hail from? Don't mind me asking.
I don't know. Are you gonna judge me from where I'm from?
No. Just depends on,
Where I'm from?
depends on if you've committed a grudge or not.
Race war!
Well, considering I don't think I know what it entails to commit a grudge exactly, but
Ooh.
I'm from
ooh.
the Gala Empire.
Okay. Yes, librarian?
But I haven't been there in a very long time.
Oh, Trina, you know what you should do? You should have a arm wrestling match with him. Prove your dominance to him. You're looking a little brawny there. I think you can beat him.
Absolutely not.
You sure? It sounds like it'll be fun. Nice little campfire challenge, I would say.
Lightbringer, you may arm wrestle, but I do not.
Oh, but look at these muscles. He touches your arm. Look at them. You have the brawn.
Act like, no.
Oh man, considering you cast spells, oh man, I would think that you're a warrior. Fighter.
But not usually in the physical sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. With those muscles, I sense lies.
Well,
You have
Trina,
potential.
I have no interest in arm wrestling or challenging you in such a way, but if you do, I will not, decline your challenge. The only reason I bring up the elf issue is because there is a large majority of our grudges that are from elves. So, but
From
I've never
elves
had a.
or against
I've
elves.
They've committed a grudges against us.
Yeah, see, I'm not surprised about that.
I have no issue personally with elves. It's rare to see. I haven't seen too many half elves on my travels.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So, why are you with this group? What do you plan on doing?
I was asked to be here.
By a lord? A noble? Or I looked over to a Lightbringer or another patron, by chance?
My goddesses, but no, I do not serve archdemons or devils.
Well, different names for patron, I should say. Okay.
Yeah, patron can mean a lot of things, honestly.
No,
Those are-
I was just pointing out I don't work for evil entities, or at least what I believe to be evil entities,
Of course.
aka demons / devils.
Oh, shots fired.
You disagree that they're not evil?
Well, I mean, I know the stereotype, but I can guarantee it's not that.
So you don't think archdevils are evil?
I mean, you know, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, the state has been good to me.
And what would your patron be, Trina?
Goddesses?
Yes. What would your goddesses be named?
I'll hold on to that information for now until I get to know you a little bit better.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you and your journal.
Yes, I seem to remember someone else who journaled quite frequently that I shouldn't have trusted.
Was this the wizard or the other companion that fed you people?
Other one.
Ah. Yeah, cannibalism. I haven't seen that. Us dwarves, we don't partake in eating ourselves or other humanoids. But
Neither do I, or my kind, and yet here we are.
Hey, you only live once, right?
Never again, Lightbringer.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, he was cool, right? He made sure you guys were good and healthy during battles, and I mean, no pun intended. I mean, don't take it as me going back to the feeding of people. He had his moments, I would say. I just didn't like him.
And yet those moments seem tainted now by the evil that he committed against us.
True, true. But she liked him too.
well,
Wonder what she
if
said.
it were me, I'd be following a grudge against this. Who was his name? This person? Doctor something?
I
Four.
mean, he has many names.
Many names. Maybe he's already in the book.
Potentially.
Maybe. Probably goes through a different name. You probably guys have probably have the wrong name. Who knows?
Would any of you happen to know what he looks like?
It's been a long time since I've seen him. What about you guys?
I mean, regal looking, a little bit older, but not that old. Always dressed sharply. Was very eloquent in the way he spoke. He claimed that he was a psychologist or someone that studied mental diseases and things like that within people. That's all we really know.
Well,
He had a strange accent.
I can't say it's any of my active grudges, but I'll keep an eye out. So, I had something I actually just forgot it though, so I'm trying to pick up. You know, when you're thinking about something, then you lose it. I just lost it. My train of thought. But
So, and there it goes.
yeah.
Way to put in awkward silence.
Well, if you remember it, pipe up. But yeah, as you guys are talking, you go over and you continue talking about other random little things. And Dusty at some point is sitting there and just enjoying listening to you all talk. And you can see like he's generally interested in all the discussion about the differences between the cultures that you all represent, where you're from, things you're used to, your experiences and things. But then he gets to a point where he's suddenly looking outside of the tiny hut. Stands up at some point, and he writes a note real quick and shoves it in all of your faces, and all it says is shh. You can hear as the rocks.
I thought someone was farting in the tent.
That was me snorting. That's hilarious. I'll have to go back and listen to that and see.
I thought Kevin was like joking around and like farting.
But
okay, sorry.
you hear rocks cracking, and you can hear, you actually hear a couple tumbling down from the side. And as they fall down from the side of the mountain and crash onto the tiny hut, and they're like, you know, hand-sized rocks and smaller. You all look up and you see this creature that's low to the ground, but the darkness makes it very difficult to tell any type of coloration as
Wait,
dark
can we
vision.
see out of the tiny hut?
You should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
You just can't see inside of the tiny hut if you're outside.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see outside the tiny hut. You can't see anything outside, including yourselves. Cannot see inside. But you see this creature with a long snout and a mouthful of teeth. You see these beady eyes that pierce the darkness. And you see the scales that very, very, very smooth and very clustered together. But then you look at its front paws, and you see 2 sets of toes, 2 sets of claws. And this creature is down low, much like a panther, stalking something in the night. And it's almost as if it's looking directly at you. And as Dusty is looking directly towards it, the creature stands still, and you see its eyes dart in all directions. And then it starts to crawl slowly towards the tiny hut. And as it gets closer and closer, eventually you hear a very familiar sound in the distance. How loud was that? Was that like really, really loud?
I have my sound at like less than half, so it's not that bad for me.
As you hear that, the creature's head darts up, and it starts to scan the sky. But just like you all looking up, you can barely see past the fog, and the creature jumps off of the side of the mountain, landing right in front of the tiny hut. And there you can see this. And as it looks up in the sky, and as it screams, it darts off into the darkness. Dusty looks in the direction that it came for probably about a minute before he finally writes down something, tears it off, and hands it to Jim. Hi, babe. How you doing?
What does it say?
It says that was an Odegarin. Seems to be pretty far from home. They frequent the Rotten Vale, typically. So I wonder what brought it out here.
What is this? As strong as a Glavinus?
He shakes his head no. It shouldn't be. Especially in unfamiliar territory. That creature, if it were pitted against a Glavenus, I would definitely put my money onto the Glavenuses.
I wonder if it's leaving the Rotten Vale because it
Beef,
knew
my
the
man, thank you
Glavenus was
very much
gone.
for the follow. Hope you enjoy the content. It's a possibility, but it is a scavenger as well. It doesn't mind eating things that have been dead as long as there's meat to be had. But you are correct. It could be that food is running scarce in the Rotten Vale, which isn't uncommon. But I've never seen something leave the Rotten Vale and come out this far to find food. I wonder if that means that the food is scarce in between here and the Rotten Vale. Which would mean that there's a lack of monsters, which honestly for our journey bodes well for us, but for the other areas, if the creatures of the Rotten Vale are starting to go in, especially if they're ravenous and hungry, this could become a shift in the ecosystems. And the last time that this happened, it was did not bode well for the encampments.
Let's see, does that mean the druids are pissed off?
No, I wouldn't say that they're the ones causing this, no. But they will be the ones responsible for enacting balance. And as you said, the druids have in the past corrected this by attacking the encampments with the aid of the creatures that the encampments hunt for sport and for coin and for resources. There is a grave possibility that Myth Hollow has overstepped their boundaries, and perhaps they've hunted too much. But these are all just guesses. We wouldn't know until we actually got there to the Rotten Vale to see what's going on. More than likely, though, when first light hits, we should be able to pick up our pace, and we could probably make it to Myth Hollow within a day and a half's journey. Once we get past the volcano and out of the forest, it's actually quite an easy journey, easy trek. Very flat terrain, even ground. And should the rain let up and the fog disperse, we'll be able to see even further. And that's when you can see Dusty's eyes kind of actually pop out of his head a little bit as they like sort of zoom out. I can actually see for great distances, almost up towards of a few miles.
That's cool.
Yes, honestly, I would be more useful, I believe, in the desert area. But I love the forest. I like the trees and the nature. The desolation of the desert sort of reminds me of myself. As a Warforged, that is. Not really much happening on the inside except for a bunch of things put together that make it just work. Kind of like that entire ecosystem. I don't know how the creatures there survive. It is fascinating, but the forest just has so much of an abundance of life.
What should we expect on our way to to Myth Hollow?
Well, based on what I just saw, we can expect one of two things. Either a smooth path that has been cleared of all threats, Or we may run into creatures from the Rotten Vale itself and have to avoid being sighted. There are essentially three paths we could take at this point. We could cut straight through the middle of the peninsula to the north of the lake. It is the most direct route from where we're at. We could follow the shoreline of the lake, which would give us a way away from any creatures. You all can swim, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or fly over the lake.
Yes. So most of these creatures, they would not follow you in the water. There are actually creatures in the water we would want to avoid, but usually they are much deeper in the lake, so we should be fine if we're relatively close to the shore. But that is if we were to get chased and they happen to be in that area. Or we could seek to find cover in the forest to the north that is just below the Coral Highlands. Although this forest is a lot more sparse than the ancient forest that we have just traversed. That would give us more natural cover. The lake would provide us a means of escape if need be. Or we would be able to get to Myth Hollow a lot faster if we just beeline it from here. Although we are exposed.
If
Any
we were
preferences?
to go over the water, if we were to go over the water, what dangers do we worry about in the water itself?
Towards the shore, maybe some giant crabs or something like that. They would just disrupt fast travel is all. Just joking. That's a Skyrim joke.
Yeah.
No, there are some creatures of the Piscine origins that live within the water, but not many of them come towards the shore except for one, and it's not too much of a threat in all honesty.
And in the water itself?
If you go quite deep into the deeper reaches that are 50 feet or deeper, that is where you would definitely run into some issues.
And, okay. So if we stuck to the shoreline, though, we'd generally be fine?
Yes, I would say so. Even if there were creatures that were frequenting the coast, we'd be able to wade out maybe 20, 30 feet in the water and swim past them. And unless they were very eager to hunt us, they would lose interest rather quickly.
How long would it take to traverse this water?
If we were to swim from there to the edge of the Rotten Vale, that's without a raft, and with the need of you all to rest after a while, it'd probably take us an extra couple days. But I'm not exactly sure you'll... With a raft, 2... Especially because of the fact we'd have to craft one. We'd have
2
plenty
days?
of 2 days to cross the lake on raft, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if time is of urgency or not. If it's not, that would be perfectly fine. I would help you craft the raft.
And you think if we just stayed at the shoreline, it'd be good enough?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. Well, if that's a faster way, then I prefer that. But, can I do this, Brady? Oh, never mind. It's gonna... That should be info for it. Can I collect some rainwater, Brady?
No, because the rainwater's on the outside and you can't get out there.
Can
Spelleffects can't traverse the tiny hut.
Okay. Can I get my canteen and just pour it out?
Sure.
And then cast this? I mean, I can... It might take us some time, but if we need to, like, make a path over the water, I can, I make, like, a a flat, like 5-foot cube of ice, and suggest.
I would say that could probably work. Although, how large can you make it?
Oh, well, this is just for like 5 feet at a time. It could
I
also,
don't believe all of us would fit on a single one, but
we single file, but that's one way. It can also.
how long does the spell last?
It lasts for about an hour. The water freezing effect.
How many times would you be able to do it?
As many times as I want.
Oh, it's that simple.
Just take a few seconds.
Well, then the question is, are you able to craft a sail as well, or would we have to row ourselves?
Oh, this is just for
Can we
walking
just
on
walk
foot.
across?
Yeah, this might mean walking on foot. Save something did come after us, so we wouldn't have to all get wet in the water.
Oh.
Or I could just kind of, lift us all there. I can make a platform of ice, and then I guess describe this.
Oh, hopefully you didn't use the spells. Well, I guess it
No,
doesn't matter.
yeah, I did info, so it shouldn't have.
You start describing that, and you're like, oh, well, that, yes. I believe that we have all our bases covered, regardless of the direction we choose. But with what you have described to me, I do believe that the coast would be our safest bet. But again, I'll make sure to scout out a way, and if I don't perceive any threats, we could continue along the middle path.
Okay.
Dusty ends up settling back down into his spot. Well, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to go ahead and go into a low voltage mode and recharge a bit. I will keep alerts for any other creatures, just in case you are not awake by the time your spell ends and the hut fades. So I'll make sure to wake you.
Thank you, Dusty.
Dusty sits back and you watch as his eyes go from the bright yellow and they dim, and then you see Dusty's like appendages in his head kind of like slump just a little bit, and you can hear a audible and then his eyes become a dull yellow. And I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick.
No, Mexicans detected.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh man! This journey is quite wild. New comrades back to back so quick. It's impossible to really understand what Trina and Jim are thinking. Can we trust them? Will they feed us more people? We'll see soon enough. They don't seem to have any ill intent, but who knows? Both of them have their secrets. Egad. Wonder what's next after this. After encountering such a impossibly voluptuous, dangerous creature on top of their tiny hut. Jeez. Maybe, they might have to fight it eventually without really wanting it. Then we'll see the party actually run away for the first time.
Never.
I guess we'll have to see.
All right.
Never give up. Never surrender.
That was hilarious. Thank you.
Never give up. Trust your instincts.
Anyway.
Your father saved me like that too.
All right, Peppy.
I knew someone would get that one. I can quote that whole stupid video game.
I always say Slippy Toad whenever somebody like drops something. And I think that was a close that was a close call, Fox. Anyway, unless you guys have anything else to say to each other.
Nah, Lightbringer just lays back all still with a smile on his face and just closes his eyes.
You see the yellow light fade in my eyes, and I go.
I just cast another cast one of these before we go to sleep.
Okay.
And then I tell my little bat to go outside and just kind of fly around and just use its senses to see if anything comes near us.
Okay. All right. So as you guys bunker down and get ready to go to sleep, you do fall asleep. The bat doesn't ever wake you up, Hawktier. As you wake up in the morning, you're the first one to wake up. You have a knack for waking up or I would say at least 20 minutes before your spells end. So you wake up, Dusty's already awake as well, and he writes a message to you, essentially just saying like, good morning, hope you feel recharged. Let me actually go to the next day.
Take a long rest.
Yeah, everyone can roll for a long rest and get some hit die back. Roll some hit die if you need to. Get all your spell slots and goodies back.
We get half back, don't we?
Correct.
Now.
Yeah, it should show that.
Should do it
too.
automatically, right?
Yeah.
I'll do 3.
Okay.
Is anybody like aware in their slumber?
Aware?
Somewhat aware, like anyone slightly awake. Like
The only
all
person is Dusty, because he doesn't actually have to sleep or anything like that. So Dusty perceives everything that happens inside of the hut.
Okay. So, I guess in that moment, Lightbringer is like in his sleep, and he's just, no, please, no, what, why?
Okay.
That proceeds for about 30 minutes.
So as
Yay,
you
someone as fucked up as we are.
Oh shit.
Brady, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember how many charges the bee has.
it should say on the item itself.
Also, I
doesn't
think I
track
fucked up
me.
on my long rest.
See it.
You messed up your long rest.
I don't know, it didn't complete.
The bee has 8 charges and regains 1d6 plus 2 each day.
No, I know. I mean, I don't know how many charges it was at.
Oh,
Okay, I'll be
I
right
think
back.
you had 2.
2 left?
Yes.
Okay, so it's at 6 now.
We'll roll a d6. Oh, is that what that 4? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I see. So I will, boom, updated. And it does
Can you
look
update
like
that on that page? Is it like in the details?
you can do it in the details, or you should be able to click that left number and change it
What left number?
on the item itself. So
You
if
mean like
go-
in the list? Or
yeah, if you go to the inventory, right, and you go to look at the clockwork healer bee,
yeah.
you go to the right of it, you should see 6 out of 8. You should
do
be
not.
able to no.
All I see is the picture and then Clockwork Healer bee.
Do you see the little sun icon?
Mm-mm.
Interesting. Wonder if those are GM only things.
Maybe?
I'll have to log in as you later and see what you see. Figure it out. But yeah, you got 6 out of 8. But as you guys wake up and start to get up, the rain is actually coming down harder today than it was the day prior. So that's pretty fun.
We didn't try to signal for that ship.
Well, hey, look at that. Hey, if we didn't have to hurry up and move out the way, get moving, this would be quite relaxing, actually.
So Dusty writes a note and hands it to you, Lightbringer. And it says, you had a nightmare. Are you okay?
Oh yes, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
And he nods his head. I think this one.
Brady, I want to do something as I wake up.
Okay.
Can I cast? Let me see. I'm gonna make it private. Where did it go? This one right here. This. And could I get... Oh, well, that go, they didn't go private, did it?
No.
Not. Oh, well.
But yeah, that's fine. I think.
Okay. I think? Yeah, I think so, too.
Chosen. It has to be first or second.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So then, yes.
I only do this once a day. So we did a long rest, right, that night? So,
Correct.
yeah, I'm gonna do that once a day, I think. Yeah, okay. I'll keep that. I'll keep hold of that.
Okay. And you do that obviously in the morning, right? Since it disappears
Yeah.
after. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys watch as Tolktir is scribbling in his book, and eventually he tears out a page and rolls it up, puts it into his jacket pocket, and as he finishes that, he gives you the warning that the spell is going to end in about 30 seconds. So prepare to get wet.
I also have, during the downtime last night, have looked at the books. Maybe we'll just handle that later. Like, look at the spell books, I mean.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay. Well, is ready.
Ready?
Okay. So the spell ends, and Dusty begins walking. The fog has dissipated quite a bit. There's still, obviously, because of the nature of a volcano being like heated rock in some places, when the rain comes down on these portions of the rock, especially the little lava plumes, it creates steam, but it eventually dissipates. So really all it is it's just a heavy rain, which does impede your vision just a little bit, and it also makes it harder to hear things. But Dusty leads you guys, and occasionally he writes notes saying, yes, this weather is quite unfavorable, but we should still be able to make it to the coast and be relatively safe there.
Good.
Cool.
Okay.
So he continues to march on, and as you guys are marching, somebody roll me a D100.
Dibs.
Oh, I'm already rolling it.
Fire rolled it.
14.
Oh God.
I think that's good. It's been good the whole time. Lower is passing.
So as you guys are moving right along, eventually you get, we'll say you get, 12 miles into your journey in a couple hours time, especially thanks to Jimothy's magic trick of being able to go very quickly because of his elk spirit. But as you guys start to get out of the mountainous volcanic area, Dusty starts to take you guys towards the south. And as you're heading towards the coast, at some point he stops and he gestures everybody to drop down, and he drops prone.
I drop
You
it.
drop prone. Yep.
Yeah, like Bringer just falls flat on his face.
I just imagine you literally not using your hands.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I go prone.
So as you drop prone, you see a somewhat familiar creature, the Tobi Kadachi, essentially like run within 60 feet of you guys, but it's running from the direction that you're heading, and as it does, it looks back behind it and it cuts north, and as it begins running in the distance, you can hear
Okay.
I think
Upon
we
hearing
should change our plan.
upon hearing that, I'm gonna just cast.
Dusty smacks the ground a couple times and holds his hand up.
I don't move.
And as he holds his hand up, he slowly brings it to the floor. And there in front of you, with relative quickness, you see that creature, that same creature, pop in and sniff around the area exactly where the Tobi Kadachi was, and it looks to the left towards you guys, but as you're sitting there sitting still, it then looks towards the north. It catches the scent and it runs off. And after a few moments, you can hear screams of two different creatures as they're battling, and eventually one of them fades away. But the screams come from a relatively far distance away, a couple 100 feet for sure. And as those screams are going on, Dusty raises his hand and essentially starts gesturing towards the coast. He jumps up and starts to run.
I start running.
Turn into Beltran and follow him.
I start running, but with shorter legs.
Lightbringer is like prone and goes into all fours and just running on all fours for a little bit, and then goes to his regular running.
Okay.
You like the awkward werewolf run, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang, I thought you were gonna, because I felt like you just fell flat on your face. I thought you were gonna like stand straight up without using your arms.
The core strength to do that would be insane.
I mean, he's not
Gripping with your toes.
I mean, he's pretty strong. Nah, he doesn't do that. That'd be funny if I did.
So you guys run for probably 10-15 minutes or so. And when I say run, I don't mean like full speed. Obviously, it's more like a jog. Distance, not speed. Especially because of Jim's thing. You guys are able to keep it up for a little while. Eventually, Dusty slows down as you guys are huffing and puffing. He writes a note, hands it to Jim, and it reads, "That's an ebony Odegarin, much stronger than the one that I thought we were looking at, but I couldn't discern the colors. That might be able to take on a Glavenus. It's kind of up in the air on who gets lucky with their hits, but for it to be this far away from the Rotten Vale is of definite concern to me. For it typically lives on the easternmost portion."
So something's wrong for sure, huh? Dusty old pal.
And he nods his head yes. He then writes another note and says, "I think we should make haste. If it's hunting out this way, it won't be too long before it might catch our scent since we were so close to it. I do recommend perhaps being closer to the coast than I had originally planned. The Odegarin would not follow us, for sure."
So you're fairly certain it won that fight?
And he writes a very simple message that says 100%.
Well, let's get out of here quickly then.
You guys start to make your way closer to the coast. And you can all roll a perception check.
The hell? Come on. Nice.
Did you hear that sound, or did I just
Yes.
hear this? Okay. Well, that's pretty neat that works.
Hear
I'm
what
gonna try
sound?
to change it. There was like a sound whenever you roll a natural 1 or a natural 20.
Oh.
Did you change, like, mine?
I didn't change yours at all, no. The only thing I could think of is that the module...
Because I
you-
had it set for ones.
Oh,
But also
okay.
it didn't re-roll, it re-rolled my one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you set a sound as well for ones?
I think so. I don't
I know
remember.
I-
It was a long
yeah.
time ago.
I know I set one as well, so I wasn't sure if that was even the one because
Or
I
maybe
didn't
it
actually
was.
test it. But either way, as you guys are marching through the coast area, all of you notice quite a few smaller creatures that are along the coastline, going in, drinking water, but ultimately they're just sitting all together in like a herd. None of them seem to pay any attention to you except for to make sure that you're not coming to hunt them. The creatures that you do get too close to, they get up and they run away from you. So these creatures, and judging by the looks of them, they look like they're more herbivores. So not really anything you guys have to worry about as long as you don't mess with them. So at least you know that also on the coast there seems to be easier prey. A couple more hours into your journey, it gets a little past midday. You guys continue at a faster pace than your initial journey, but you're no longer like booking it. Dusty writes a note, gives it to Jim saying, if anything, the Odegaran would definitely hunt those creatures before it would be dead set on following us. So I believe we're in the clear. At least from that beast.
Swag.
That's good to know. I'm glad that we're at least a little bit safer.
So
What
the
would
next
happen
few
if I were
hours... Oh, you go ahead.
I wonder what would happen if I were to just scream right now.
Do not.
I will.
No.
Do
No, I
it,
won't.
pussy.
No, I'll appeal to the lady's wishes. Wouldn't want to hear her angrier side. Seemed pretty nice enough to me so far.
Okay. For the rest of the day on your travels, you all don't see much of anything to note. Dusty keeps you close enough to the shore that if something did come up, you would be perfectly fine. Eventually, he writes a note and hands it to... I need to change your little name here. But Tolktir. And lets you know that perhaps now would be a good time to put the hut up and rest.
Oh, okay. Let me use the bathroom first, and we'll go ahead and do that.
So Tolktir
just
uses the
come back.
bathroom and comes back eventually. Puts up the tiny hut close to the shore. And
Do alarm
Dusty gets
phone.
in, does the alarm stuff, yada yada. Nothing ends up happening over the course of the night. And then you get into the next day, and it continues to rain. But Dusty wakes everybody up eventually and writes a note saying we should probably leave a little sooner than we did yesterday. If we go through the early hours of the night, we could reach Myth Hollow today.
It's good to me.
Giddy up.
Sounds good to me.
The bee's at full charges now, right, Brady?
It should, yeah, it would definitely be. So
Ooh, and I get an extra hit die. We are charged.
I do the same action as before, Brady, that I
Okay.
did for the long rest.
that works. Through the course of this journey, a couple things to note. As you guys are getting towards the edge of the lake, and you can see that you're at the edge of the lake on the far east side, You then start to see dense foliage before you. But there's something different about it. You can't quite tell based on the sight because of the limited visibility given to you because of the rain. But you can actually smell it. And it is a putrid, rotted smell. Very similar to that of a decayed corpse. And immediately, all of you realize exactly where the name The Rotten Vale comes from. But Dusty doesn't take you directly in it. In fact, he essentially takes you around it, and you start heading north. He writes a note, hands it to Jim. He says, "There's no reason to endanger ourselves with disease by getting into the Rotten Vale this early. So we'll go on the perimeter route. Should take us towards the cliff that separates us from the Coral Highlands and the Rotten Vale. Should be fairly safe. Not many creatures frequent that area because of the fact that there's nothing of interest."
Okay.
And your day of marching eventually comes to a close, closer towards the hour of 8 o'clock, when you finally make it to the outskirts of Myth Hollow. So about a mile away, Dusty writes a note and hands it to you, Jim, saying, "We should be there within the next 20 minutes or so. Probably less because of your elk spirits. If you could let everyone know, this is Thurian Empire territory. Try to keep the magic at a minimum if it's even necessary. Only because I'm not exactly sure how much of the laws of the mainland this encampment follows."
Understood. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
I put my familiar away.
Okay. Is this the song I want? I don't think it is, no. I want this one. Okay, so the familiar goes away. And you guys start to walk up to the gates of Myth Hollow. As you get closer, you notice that the perimeter of Myth Hollow isn't made with your normal walls. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. What you see around the perimeter is a large heap of corpses of various creatures. Some creatures you've seen, some you haven't seen before. They are a variety of small to very large creatures, some of them even larger than the Glavenus. There are a few entrances that you see scattered throughout this wall of corpses. One of them being the largest, and the one that Dusty's leading you towards. And outside, there are a couple of lanterns. Hold on, Oscar's ruining my bookshelf.
Of course he is. I'm a little terrorist.
Okay.
You
Anyway,
talk
there
here.
are...
You just Buster Grumpy.
No. What?
Oh, I'm watching you. Seemed like you would just let one loose and not tell anybody.
Not at all.
You seem like the type that'll just waft it in somebody's direction in secret. Just so they can just sit there relaxing and to just smell it.
I believe the phrase is whoever smelt it, doubt it.
Touche.
Whoever denied it, supplied it.
Oh, that too! You stinky man.
Anyway. As you guys were... Let's see, is this the right? Yeah. So as you guys get closer to the gate, there are 2 lantern posts that are outside. They are lit, and they're actually quite bright. But the thing that's weird about it is they're not your typical like yellow hued light. They're green, and it's kind of like a sickly green. And as you get closer and closer, you start to smell not death and decay, but you actually smell what seems to be more of a not mint, but some assortment of herbs. And once you get close enough, the guards they hold up a hand. Halt, please, halt. Might we ask you state your business?
We're seeking shelter. We're hunters.
Hunters, you say?
Yeah, Trina holds up her platinum card thing.
Ah, and so you are. From Gamderol, I see. Quite a long way from the dwarven settlements, although you only have one dwarf accompanying you. What is your business in Myth Hollow?
We're just traveling through.
Well, if you're looking for the Hunter's Commission, it's currently inoperable. It hasn't been manned for in a couple of days as it undergoes repair from the last attack. So if you're looking for work, you'll have to wait a few days. But in the meantime, we welcome you to Myth Hollow.
The last attack, may I ask?
Correct. Myth Hollow has been seeing rather odd behaviors from the creatures that frequent the area. It seems that they have decided that we are not welcome anymore, and they have attacked just about nightly, although we haven't had an attack this past night. But before that, we have lost several city guards and hunters because of the assaults. Almost daily, we've lost 10 to 20 men and women.
That's really
So-
unfortunate to hear. I'm so sorry.
Yes, our prayers to be with them and their families back home. But welcome to Myth Hollow. Hopefully there is room at the inn. And if you would, it is almost time for the evening mass. If you would be so kind as to gather within the chapel, whether you are religious or not, as important announcements typically go on at the end of the sermon.
Time does it begin?
It will begin in roughly, he pulls out a pocket watch, within a minute or so. You should be able to make it there, although a little late. But you are newcomers, so no one will fault you for it.
Thank you for the information. And can you point us in the direction of the inn once the mass is over?
Yes, it will be almost directly across the square from the chapel, on this side of the gate.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you begin to walk into Myth Hollow, Dusty scribbles out a note and passes it to Jim. And it reads, if they're being attacked nightly, it would seem that one of two options, or one of two things could be happening. Either, yes, they've exceeded their quota massively and the druids are striking against them, or there's something happening at the heart of the Rotten Vale, causing the attacks.
Is that something that we should check out?
He writes a note to you, Thorpe, and it says,
Thorpe.
my bad. Lightbringer.
Well,
passes.
I'm back now, officially.
He passes you a note and says, if this is your final destination, by all means, but the Rotten Vale, if you thought that the volcano was bad. And then he just leaves it with a ...
Ooh. What do you think, guys?
Well, I'm here for my grudge, so I need to get that settled regardless of whether I want to stay or not.
Yeah, I think we try to get our business over with quickly. But we should head into the chapel because we're probably going to be late already, and I think it'd be better to not have them hate us right off the bat.
Oh. Very well. I'm following you all. Just let me know when we leave.
Okay. So as you guys start to head towards the chapel, pretty much everything actually that you see around you is kind of old, run down, not necessarily decrepit, but not decrepit as well. The area just seems to be in pretty bad shape, and you're not exactly sure if it's just the nature of the location or if there's something going on with the people. But as you enter the chapel, there's a handful of folks, anywhere between 50 to 100 people, all crammed into this chapel. And the folks that don't have a seat are lined up against the walls. And as you guys come in, the guards that are standing duty outside, as you guys are the last ones to come in, they close the doors behind you. And as you settle in and start looking forward, a gentleman approaches the stage in the center.
Oh, yikes.
Tonight, I see Mistra coming to our aid, showing us with divine light that we will not be beaten by the creatures of this deceitful colony, this wretched island. Our journey is almost over, brothers and sisters. Soon we will have cleansed this part of the island of the filth that lives here, eating on the decayed flesh of creatures long dead, scavenging in refuse, spreading disease and blight. Our journey has been a long one, but it has been a guided one. And soon we will be done. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, in which we can finally leave this rotted place and start beginning our work in other areas, such as the Coral Islands, the desert, and the ancient forest. And finally, we can cleanse the volcano at the center, at the heart of this island. all in the name of our mistress, all in the name of the goddess Mistra. Be vigilant tonight. We will need everyone, just in case an onslaught happens yet again. But heed my words. If your death comes tonight, it is not your end. It is merely your beginning in your service to Mistra. And now I leave you, and Merrick will discuss the tactics for tonight. And the priest steps down and goes and takes a seat. And a gentleman that's in plate mail, that's actually glowing with this weird blue aura, approaches. Myth Hollow. Citizens, tonight we anticipate the greatest of these creatures to attack, and we will need every able body, every weapon sharpened, all armor strapped, in order to defend Myth Hollow, to defend the guiding lights of Mistra, as tonight could be our last. But tomorrow, we will surely be able to cleanse the rest of this rotten veil. So, as I see it, we will dissolve into two squads, east and west. We will split directly down the middle of this chapel. If you are on the eastern side, you will take the eastern walls. If you are on the western side, the western walls. We will man the walls until the sun breaks through the clouds, for only then can we guarantee that our Myth Hollow is safe. At the heart...
As he says this, I want to see like where we fall in the room, sides of the room, like left to right, or are we like dead center?
You guys are actually dead center.
I like motion everybody like get on one side.
Do you go left, or do you go east or west?
What side would it come from?
You guys came from the west.
Came from the west. Let's go on the east side of things. My motion, I go towards, I guess, if there was a right toward the east, I go on that side.
Okay.
And I motion everybody else like, get up.
We anticipate the numbers to be great.
I will step over to that side too.
Roughly a dozen or so creatures. Maybe more.
Lightbringer is like sliding over there. What's that?
And as you're whistling,
Oh my god.
the gentleman stops his sentence. I'm sorry, did I interrupt your music, your song? I did not mean to devoid you of glee in these dark times. My humblest apologies to you, Mr.
Jame Hitter.
Yes. You will be on special duty and you will man the front gate.
Oh, really? I'm honored.
As you should be. You may not be devoted to Mistra, but tonight you serve her. As I was saying, dozens of creatures are anticipated to show, but we will not falter. Everyone, you have half an hour before it is time to get to your post. Anyone found inside of their rooms, even if you're a visitor, you will be dealt with swiftly once this attack is over. in the name of Mistra, and may her divine light guide you. And a lot of the people stand up and give a salute of some sort. And as he leaves and sits down, a woman comes from the back, dressed in a elegant green robe, and she has green makeup on her face. I have seen visions from Mistra herself this night. We are victorious, and we will remain so should we keep our faith. Once this is all over, Myth Hollow will be turning a new leaf. We will begin the final stages of our plan to cleanse the rotten veil. And soon we can leave this decrepit dark hole better than we found it. And our reward for our devotion is simple. We begin anew in the Coral Highlands as the next location that needs to be cleansed of the taint that runs through this land. All in the name of the Thurian Empire. All within the name of Mistra and her divine magic. And you watch as she weaves her hands and she lets out essentially a mirage of a figure that none of you have really seen before, except actually all of you roll a religion check. Okay. Let us see. So Lightbringer, you have no idea. Tolktir, you're the only one that sort of faintly understands who this is. But Trina and Three Toe Jim, even though you've never seen this figure before, you kind of guess based on what it is that you've experienced with this empire, that this is the visage of Mistra.
Sure.
You see this figure in the mirror image, and everybody gets onto their knees and begins to praise Mistra's name and call out different prayers and start to pray to themselves. Mistra will see us through these dark times. Once we're done with tonight, we will all be stronger in her service. Go. Get what rest you can. Get what food and supplies you can. Make sure you're ready. And then, as she waves her hands, the doors open without anyone touching them. And the people start to file out of the cathedral. For Natasha, for the Thurian Empire, for our goddess Mistra. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
I was just about to swing on Natasha.
People are fracking nuts.
Oh, wait, this is interesting. I'm on special duty. What?
You said duty. I'm just kidding.
Duty.
All right, let me end my stream. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. This is going to be... I've got some planning to do, right? I've got some planning to do. But one of two things is going to happen. Either A, my plans fall through and I don't do anything, and I just set this whole thing up as kind of a foreshadow to some really bad shit, and it doesn't happen, which is hilarious, kind of. but it also just makes them look even more fanatical, which is really good. Ooh, Rose, why? Rosie says hello. Or my ultimate plan is for a really big entity to take part in the attack on Myth Hollow, and the players find out just exactly what it is that they're up against in this whole arc. It should be fun. So hopefully we see you next time, and until then, peace.